Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bunk and Pick podcast. Pick here with Bunk. Bunk, say hello to the people.
Hey, hello. I gave you a little song today. That's from my Irish roots.
Oh, that's not.
I'm not
that
Irish.
Was zero Irish.
I'm not Irish. I went to a pub and they were singing Irish ditties. And they were kind of fun.
Ditties.
I think dido.
God. Hashtag Bunk's canceled.
Oh boy.
Anyways, we do have a guest with us this week. The one and only boomer himself, Jason MacDonald's with us. Jason, say hello to the people here.
Salutations.
Had to give you some applause there. Salutations.
Oh, nice.
Salutations.
Holy crap.
What the hell is that?
Oh, no.
Jay, what the hell
We
is
got to get a little
salutations?
proper up in here.
Man, you are proper.
That's too proper for me.
Crap. Hey, salutations, Pick.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I like having Jason on because he is an expert at fantasy football.
The man knows a bit about this for sure. Am I in the room still?
I don't know. Are you?
Now
I hear
am.
you.
All right, we're good. I'm back.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell just happened.
You're back, baby.
All right, sorry everyone. That was technical difficulties that you guys don't really care about.
They don't care. Nobody cares. You were there. As far as they're concerned, you never left.
All right. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Jason. Really fun to roll balls today. But the first thing I do want to pit you two against each other about is that ass whooping the Yankees gave the Phillies here right out of the All-Star break there.
I like
it. It is what it is, my friend.
That's all we got. That's all we got from him.
That's not so.
All I know
so Jason's
is
a Philly
we
fan.
are still ahead of the Yanks in overall record.
Well, you may be, and here's the sad part. I'm not a anti-Phillies fan. I actually do like Bryce Harper and the gang over there, but not when they're playing the Yankees. And I was surprised that the Yankees kind of took the series. I was not expecting that.
I was too. It's been a bit of a stretch after the All-Star break. I mean, the Phillies' schedule since then has been kind of nuts. First we had to go all the way to Pittsburgh and do a series there. That's quite a trip. But then after that, we played Minnesota, Cleveland, the Yankees, which I will say I'm not a big Yankees guy, so I do not share in that. And the worst team we played in the stretch up to date is Pittsburgh, and they have a pretty decent record.
They have a great pitcher over there too.
Yeah, that I asked Nick the other day. I guess he throws this weird slider.
Yeah, he throws like a very off-kiltered slider.
Yeah, and apparently that's been bringing up a lot of high quality bats. So that's I don't feel too bad there.
I do want to throw out a correction really quick.
Yeah, Yankees have a better record.
Yeah, Yankees do have a better record.
I was going to hit them with that.
The Yankees do have a better record. Yeah, they have one more win than the Phillies.
We got 67, baby.
Yeah, but you got another loss.
No, we don't.
We're not going winning percentage. We're going wins.
Percentage.
We're not going percentage.
595 to 593.
No,
Philadelphia.
that's some bullshit right there.
Hold on, I didn't have my glasses
Split hairs.
on.
Yes, you
All right,
did.
Shit, you're right.
We see you. You can't lie about that. We see you.
All right, man. All right, I'll give you that.
I'm not saying the percentage.
But I don't hate the Phillies, so I'm okay. I hope honestly, if the Yankees don't win it this year, I wouldn't mind seeing the Phillies win it because they've been there every year. They just haven't brought it home. So I wouldn't be upset.
Now we got to go against the Dodgers for another 3 games over in LA. So that might change pretty quick. That's another good team.
Oh, that's a very good team.
Yeah. So they put us up against since the All-Star break, we played the number 1 team, the number 4 team, the number 5 team in this series, the number 6 team with Minnesota. It's been a stretch, and we did not perform well in that stretch. So now we're 2-8 in the last 10. So
I do want to state that we appreciate your preparation for this because I know you know jack shit about baseball, my friend.
I follow the Phillies when it comes to postseason. Usually I don't really watch a lot of baseball, but I do kind of track a little bit. I'll look it up every now and then.
Throwing stats and everything at us. That was impressive. I'm very impressed.
Well, you told me yesterday we lost 3 out of the last 10 or 1 3 out of the last 10, and
they were 2-10 right after the All-Star break.
Yeah, so I had to go check that because I was pretty high on the Phillies from what I've been reading. I'll read stuff. I read a lot, so
They're now
I got
2 and
Philly stuff on my news tickers.
2-8 in the last 10.
Yeah,
It's not good. It's not good.
Not good.
But
It's their away record, though.
That is mostly, though, I'm going to be honest, that is mostly Bryce Harper and Schwarber and those guys. Some of those guys are just in a huge slump right now. They'll break out of it. And there's, the Yankees went through the same thing, and then they broke out of it. Those guys are going to break out. And the good news is they're already in first place. So, I mean, they're going to do fine.
Hey, yeah, we're 5 ahead of Atlanta, 8 ahead of the Mets.
Yeah,
so.
they're going to do fine.
All Tampa had to do was just trade every single person to start winning.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm just saying.
Hey, news on Tampa. Wait a minute.
Don't you just throw me off like
no,
that.
No, I was giving you Tampa news.
Yeah, about the stadium.
The stadium, they're going to be there
looks
forever.
Amazing.
Those 15 fans can continue to go to games for the next 30 years.
There's going to be more fans in the stands. It's a new stadium.
No, I don't give a crap about the stadium. They do have a crappy stadium down there, though. It's kind of gross and old. But yeah, they're going to be there. So now all they need is a fan or two.
You're jackass.
Well, their biggest fan lives in Texas, so that's unfortunate.
I know.
Hey, is that a weight joke or an actual fandom joke, you jerk?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It's call me hip hop on the double entendre there.
All right.
Hey, baseball though, I do want to add. So Bobby Witt Jr., holy crap,
Man's on fire.
he's freaking good.
Man's on fire.
Do you know? I bet you don't know this. Do you know? I sold one of his signed rookie cards last year, like an ass.
Yeah,
I'm really regretting that one. Hello,
Idiot alert! Idiot alert!
doofus.
Doofus? Who the hell uses doofus?
I know.
Oh, man.
I'm really regretting it.
You should regret the
God.
word doofus right now.
Oh, doofus is a good one. I like doofus. I call myself a friggin' doofus, so that was
All right
me.
then. All right then.
And the how about the White Sox, who are horrendous?
I looked at their game back of the wild card.
Oh my God!
Take a guess. I want you
don't
both
even
to
know.
take a guess.
I'm not.
Don't
looking
look.
I'm not looking.
We did this last week.
37 games out of the wild card. I don't know.
All right. Boomer, what's your guess?
I couldn't begin to tell you, but I'll say like 17, 18.
No, way off. Bunk, you were half point off.
Am I?
There's 36 and a half out of the wild card.
Yeah, I do want you to know I was not looking
Good
at
Lord.
that too while I did
BS.
that. I'm not. And they have lost 20 in a row, and they're playing the A's this week.
Holy
so
crap, they're 41 out in the division.
they're bad, man. They got like 20, I think they have 27
Oh
wins.
yeah. I didn't
Come
scroll
on.
down. I have the rankings here, and I just for the game I didn't scroll down. But yeah, that's horrible.
They are
Looking
like
at it now.
27 wins.
they're
They
one
have
of
a
the
20 game
all-time
losing streak.
The all-time worst teams. It's just I don't even know. Honestly, professional
Oh my
players, I don't
God.
even know how you can lose that many.
20 game losing streak.
I know they're going for the record. If the A's sweep them,
Oh my God.
which is a possibility, the A's aren't actually that bad.
They're bad.
They're not that
are
bad.
fair.
though.
They're
They
bad. They're
games.
46 and 61. They're
but
bad.
46 compared to 27. Come on.
They're
doubled them
14
up.
games behind the Rockies.
Oh my God, they're just horrific, dude.
14 games on the Rockies.
I mean, just that's a sad. But
Ha-cha-cha.
baseball's getting good. We talked about those Arizona team over there, and gosh, dang
Diamondbacks
it, they are
starting to
coming.
win again.
They're coming back, man.
That's what they did last year too.
You know what? It is exactly
Yeah,
what
and
they
we
did.
we talk crap about them a lot.
We did talk crap.
So
I'm
them
happy
receipts
to
are
talk
being
crap
brought
about
up.
They knocked us out last year, so we can talk away about Arizona.
You're
But
right.
it's unfortunate. We got them after the Dodgers, so
I got a bone to pick with you right now. Okay, all right. This whole Philly fandom thing, it's constantly we. What part of the team are you, my friend?
I'm the 12th man, my friend.
I like it. He messes with me too, Boomer, when I say, we with my Yankees. We're part of the community. When
It
you're
is
part of
what
the
it is.
I
community.
didn't know Steinbrenner sent you over that contract.
I noticed you never say we when it comes to your Devil Rays. So
Any
you
of
are
the
not,
teams.
Boomer, he is not what we would call the 16th man for the Devil Rays.
That's the Brown Bag Club. A little bit of embarrassment.
my
You don't want to
God.
be
The
included in that.
16th man.
Yeah, 15 in the stands. They
You're
need
turning
one more.
You're turning red. You're laughing so hard at that joke. That was not that good of
I
a
thought it was
joke.
pretty friggin' funny.
Brutal.
Funny. You doofus.
All right, Doofus.
What kind of baseball? So let's talk. Like we got the Cardinals making a comeback.
Yes.
They're coming in strong. What the hell the Cubs are doing?
They sold everybody, so it's not like. But then they bought people, so I don't really understand. They're in the wild card race.
Sadly, the team I like, the Reds,
They gone.
They're just not going to get there. And the Pirates, they got a nice little pump there with the Skeens, but
they could get there. They're only 3.5 out of the wild card.
Yeah, I don't see it. I'm going for here's my teams that I'm going for that outside the Yankees, of course.
Okay, weird. Rangers,
no,
Detroit,
Ranger. Jesus, give me a chance. Kansas. Well, I'm teams that actually have a shot.
All right,
Kansas City. I'm rooting for them. I'm going to go ahead and root for my New York Mets, my other New York team, because I think they're close to a wild card. I'm not much of a St. Louis Cardinal fan. I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks. I talk shit about them, but I'm still going with them.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Boomer, this is the segment of the show called Bunk's Fairweather Fandom.
That's messed up, man. I stayed with the Yankees the whole time. What are you saying?
He's Allstate. He has to have an insurance policy when the Yankees lose.
What?
The only other team I really pull for, they're not going to make it, and that's the Rays. So.
Yes!
Oh God!
17th man right there, my friend.
But did you notice he disqualified it? They're not going to make it.
It was a sad sound.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Maybe when they get
it's hard to watch. A team struggle, especially when they're not your team. So you just kind of cut them loose for a year.
I see. That's not called fair weather. That's called good, smart business.
No, it's not.
And hey, the Twins. I wouldn't mind seeing the Twins do something. Anybody else we'd like me to pick? I'm covering all my bases.
This is all
here.
you, buddy. I like to pick the 29 other teams in baseball.
Okay, I'm not picking the Atlanta Braves because I don't like them.
Okay.
FYI. They'll probably make the playoffs.
You're not going to pick
that.
He's not going to pick the Padres because he doesn't like Tatis.
I know. The sad part, I actually like the Padres. I just don't like the players.
Okay, so
I don't know. I don't even know what that means. Okay. I've always been a Padre fan. But
how about Boston?
Oh, God. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? I'm going to have to give it to you here, Jason. You freaking idiot.
I have to say, I saw Jason this weekend. Jay said that to me at least 4 times. So
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Bunkisms need to not be spreading out into the world. That's not a good thing.
That's freaking Egypt. I like it. I love it.
Every now and then, yeah, it's a good line.
I think it's a good one. That one and this one. Hey, I think we should make a replay for Doofus. When do you say Doofus? Freaking Doofus over here.
So stupid.
I've been known to actually use Doofus from time to time.
Hey, I like it.
Oh no.
So pick. What do you have on baseball? You've been quiet over there. Your Rays aren't doing anything. You just kind of fell off the earth.
The biggest disappointment of the year is Trout's out for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah,
he's done. I saw some really cool stats comparing him and Griffey, and when Griffey went through that dominant 19, I think they just got up too young, and now they're dealing with injuries.
Maybe.
Because it's almost identical numbers from the first half to the back half of Griffey's career with Trout's numbers. So it's rough, man. I feel so bad there's 400 million reasons to not feel bad for him, but I do feel bad for him.
And he's only 31, 32.
But he had the chance to get out of that situation. He never did.
He didn't. And I don't know why. He said, I understand being loyal, but it's some part of you has got to say, God, I'd love to play in a friggin' playoff game one time. And that team is just, they suck.
Do you think he sits at home and says, at least I'm not on the White Sox?
God. I think
I'm sure every single player that is not on Chicago.
Oh my God!
all the one person that got traded because that's all they have on their roster.
Boomer, I think even picks boy Tim Anderson is saying, I'm glad I'm not there.
He's not on any team.
He's probably happier not being on any team and still getting paid because that would be rough, man.
I don't know. It'd just be. I mean, granted, they're all probably like whatever. I'm making millions of dollars, but. At the same time,
he has 425 million reasons why he's happy to be there.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I'm rooting for him.
So the other surprise I have in baseball is, and Boomer's not gonna like this one, but how about those friggin' Mets?
The Mets are doing great. They sold.
Yeah,
before the season, they got
game
rid
and
of
a half
everybody.
out. Game and a half out. Sold everybody.
They're playing well. It's going to be tough. I mean, I think they can sneak into the wild card.
That would knock out one of your 5 other teams that you're rooting for.
But I picked them too. There was one of my faves.
Oh, that was one? The Mets.
I had a lot of
Oh,
them.
wait. Hang on. Oh, looking here. Yeah, that's right. I was looking at the numbers. You picked every team that has a shot to make the playoffs.
Of course. Except for the teams that were leading the division because they're already going to make the playoffs. Except for Atlanta. Okay, let's just say I hope everybody except Atlanta makes the playoffs. I just don't like Atlanta. I didn't even like them when they had all the great pitchers, to be honest with you. Just something about them. I don't know if it's the coach. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. The coach on the Blue Jays, I still don't like that guy. Did you see? Friggin' walked Aaron Judge with 2 outs and nobody on. And the game was like 2-2 or 3-2.
Yeah, Boomer. You would walk him too, right?
No, you don't walk in that situation.
The best hitter in baseball this year?
No. He ain't walking 3 more times Sunday.
I don't think you walk him. I think you would do what Bunk would suggest. You kind of beat him in the ass.
Yeah.
No, say it correctly.
Don't give him the base, man.
You'd pump some balls in that ass, is what
That's right.
Bunk would
You pump
say.
some balls in that ass. You don't give him the base. You make him pay for it.
I agree. I would agree. Of course, I don't want to get him hit, but I would at least pitch to him, and he does at times.
I would not pitch to him.
Come on.
He's hitting the shit out of the ball this year.
That's just that. Plus, I don't like the coach, so that's
That's the biggest reason. You just don't like the coach.
I don't like him.
Because if it was Kevin Cash doing it, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably a smart
move, Kev.
Best hitter in baseball. Can't pitch to him.
Good coach over there, folks. Yeah, I don't like the guy.
God,
Don't like him. I'm not a fan of Schnitzker over there in Atlanta either, or whatever the hell his name is. He's like 108.
Snickerdoodles?
Snickerdoodle.
Some cookies?
It's freaking ancient, man.
All right.
God.
All right.
I just feel like you're not a good baseball manager unless you're like 95 years old.
Oh, I know.
It's true.
Like have no emotions.
Zero emotions.
It's not like Booney. He's an emotional guy.
Oh, God, he is
Yeah, we
emotional.
won't even go there. I'm not going there.
Yeah, I've gone there multiple times. All you do is just cry
I
about
love
it.
him. Love him.
It blows my mind that you love him.
I do love him. He's my man.
What do you... All right, Boomer, how do you think... In ranking baseball fields, okay, I'm going to give you 4 baseball fields. I need you to put them in order, okay?
Okay.
All right, Citizens Bank Field.
Number 1.
No, just stop it.
That's Citizens
No,
Bank
you
Park,
haven't.
by the way.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm not done
Ooh.
listing them. He did correct me.
He did
He is
correct you,
part of the
I
organization.
like it.
That is I think, the
That's
only
his job.
modern-day baseball
That's his
field
job.
I have been to.
All right, Citizens Bank Park,
There you go.
Attaboy.
Yankee Stadium, the
4.
Tropicana, the mighty Cocoa Beach Miniman High School Senior Baseball
my
Field, my
God.
friend. Give me 1 through 4.
Ooh. Well, if it's a field I've actually played on, we're gonna have to go ahead and just throw that one in the trash. And that was when I was in Little League. So
No, it's 1 through 4, not trash. Give me the 1 through 4. I gave you 4 stadiums.
Citizens Bank is number 1.
Weird.
And you know,
See, I thought he was going to go.
being
I thought he was going to go
outside
Cocoa
of
Beach
just
one.
being a homer. I get a lot. I've read a lot where it's a highly rated park.
Okay.
So outside of just my opinion, I'll say that's 1. Yankee Stadium has to be number 2.
Has to. It's
to be number
iconic.
2.
Come on, I thought you were
it's an
gonna. Thought you were gonna.
iconic
Iconic.
Yeah, but you had the perfect opportunity to bust Bunk's balls right now and throw
I know.
Tropicana Field
but I
in
still
front of
have to
Yankee
have
Stadium.
Some sort of objectivity to that.
Thank you.
No,
I
he's
mean,
gonna bust
how
my
can you-
balls
how
and
can
he's
you
gonna
rank
put Cocoa Beach in front of Tropicana right now.
Cocoa Beach has more fans going to the game.
They do.
I knew it was coming. I set you up to mess with Bunk and you brought it back on me, you jerk.
Love it.
But don't worry, there's plenty of time for that when we get to football.
Oh
But
my god. Oh, that's coming, my
Oh.
friend.
yes, that is coming.
Yeah, the Trop is number 4.
Yeah, I mean,
It's horrific.
if you can't get more people to a game than a high school game, I mean, it's
All right.
it's bad.
All right. Here you go.
I will say this though, and one of my buddies, LeDuc, apparently they do every year. I think they do like a disc golf in the park night, where you get some beers and they'll set up some
all
baskets
they have.
around the stadium.
That's all they have, my friend.
That's about it,
That's all they have.
as far as I can
No,
tell.
there's
That's
some
just-
there's
it
some
seemed
rays.
like a good.
There's some rays in a tank in center field too. That's pretty cool.
that's kind of cool, I guess, too. But outside of that, they don't have a pirate ship or anything.
No, they don't. They don't have anything. I don't think
They're not even in Tampa.
I
So
don't think they got a coach.
all right,
a couple players.
all right. That's enough bashing of the team I like.
Yeah.
You jerk. I'm gonna laugh my ass off when they sneak into the playoffs and beat the Yankees.
That ain't gonna happen.
That might happen.
They're 9 out.
Without a
3.5 out. They're
out
3.5 out of the wild card.
5 out.
3.5 out of the wild card.
Looking at it.
3.5 out.
That's the Boston Red Sox. They're 2.5. They're not out. They're gone. All right. What else you got?
Well, I want to open the floor up to Boomer here to ask any fun questions he would like about anything.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Okay.
About anything.
Boomer has known us for 30 years now, it feels like.
Yep.
So is there any pressing questions you've always thought about the Amato household?
I mean, it's kind of hard to have questions after all these years. I got the gist, the lay of the land. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right, then how about this? What's going on in your world there, Boomer?
Oh,
Let the people know what's going on.
Well, I got this 1-year-old now, and she is something else, man. It's been an adventure. Right now, we're dealing with her having 4 teeth coming in, so it's been a sleepless adventure.
So he doesn't sleep.
Late nights. I like
Bunk,
it.
Here's the question, Hisha. How did you go through that 5 times?
Mrs. Bunk took care of most of that. I faked sleeping. No, I didn't.
Hey, this is recorded.
Joking.
This is recorded. I'll make sure she listens.
I'm going to pretend like I don't know what he's talking about on the last line.
Hey, I was up every night with my 2.
Yeah.
Every single night. Because I was getting home from work.
You know what? We got by with a lot less sleep than normal, but we were busy and I was a lot younger. So you can do a lot when you're younger that I couldn't do now.
Hey, and
a couple of the people in our league just had babies. They're under 2 months old right now. So 2 of them between 2 different guys, and one of them he got the draft dates confused. And I was mentioning, after you go a month or so with only 2 hours of sleep a night, you start time traveling.
Bunk did that for 10 straight years.
We did, yeah. We had babies for 10 years that were in diapers. Had a lot of diapers, my friends.
Cannot imagine.
No.
Cannot imagine.
Yeah. I honestly can't either anymore. I don't even know how we did it, but you just do what you do.
All right. Well, if anybody out there does have any questions for the one and only Boomer, send them into the Bunk and Pick podcast email, and I'll make sure they get to them.
Because we're going to get to a specialty here.
There's something in that email that I do think we need to touch on before we talk football, because I feel like once football comes around, we're going to dominate the chat.
What do you got? What's
Boomer, what the fuck were those hot dogs, man?
Those dogs were bad, dude.
Hey, some people like a little char.
Those were bad, my friend. They were split. You split them.
I cut a line in them, and that was actually a pointer Nick.
Oh wait, you cut the line?
Yeah, you score it so that it cooks more evenly.
Okay.
That's a little chef pick tip.
Okay.
Chef Pick didn't tell you to burn them though.
I like
they were just a little crispy on the skin. That is what it is.
They were I'll just do just an in-person critique for you. Number 1, really too thin. Got to get a little chubbier dog there.
All right, brand. Give us brand. Boomer.
Yeah, what brand was that?
That was an Oscar Mayer.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was not a good one. Usually, I go with either the HEB beef dogs, or if I can spring for it at the time, I'll go with like Nathan's or something.
Nathan, got to be Nathan's.
So I'm a big fan of the Nathan's.
I am too. So you throw the Nathan's in there, Jason, and you got it. There was no pontoonage to them. No pontoonage at all.
My pontoons, they get cut up really fine and put in the relish. So,
And you got to, I'm just going to say, you bunned a few of them. You got to have them, you got to lay them bare. You got to throw some cheese on there. And I'm telling you.
I can feel the cheese. I was lazy and I didn't want to shred up.
All right.
We had some cheddar. We don't really buy a lot of American around.
Okay.
if I'm eating a burger or something, I'll get American cheese. That is the superior cheese for a burger.
All right, hey, you know what? Good critique. We'll follow your journey into hot dogdom.
Remember, the microwave is your friend.
The microwave is your friend, man.
Old Chef Mike.
Make sure to get that heavily processed plastic cheese on top.
You got to do that. 135 to 145 is the ultimate there.
A minute 30. You're putting them in for a minute 35?
That's how you get everything melted. You got to melt the cheese. It's hard to melt
so
the
let me ask you this, Bunk. When you do your hot dogs in the microwave, do you wrap them in a paper towel?
Oh, heck
or do
no.
you just put them out flat?
No. He raw dogs it, my friend.
No, we just raw dogs them. I raw dog them.
He raw dogs it.
Back in my college days, I would microwave some hot dogs, and you're supposed to roll those bad boys up in a paper towel.
Oh, okay. You know what? I look through the window and I kind of time it, and I go 145, and if it looks like they're popping a little early, I'd knock it right out of there, baby.
You both are disgusting.
That's why we're not chefs.
All right.
We're IT. We're both IT guys. That's why.
It is what it is, man. We don't have time for chefing a hot dog.
Damn right, man.
Damn right. It takes 3 seconds to throw it in a skillet and brown it, not
then you gotta
burn
clean
it.
Then you got to clean the skillet right here.
Well, apparently, from what you say, every Miss Bunk does all that for you. So
no, that's messed up. Miss Bunk, joking.
All right, I'm here with Harrison Bucker. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. Oof. Oh, ouch. That was
low blow.
That was
Rollin Balls.
You know what? You rolled them, and the left one actually almost fell. So yowzer.
All right. Speaking of football, I do want to get Boomer's take on this. He is a pretty big Florida State fan.
Mm-hmm.
They got screwed. They got a little bit screwed last year.
Yeah, listening to your guys' take, whenever y'all mentioned FSU and didn't have a level of disgust in your voice.
Well, Texas made it
last year.
Texas made it, my friend.
I was, and that what really bothered me, and I was more upset about this was the fact that I was hoping to get a Florida State Texas game in, and I was hoping to come. I would have gone to Austin, and we would have had our own little tailgate.
Ooh,
see, there's always this year though.
There is always this year. This year, I don't know what to expect. Our team is pretty much all new. I think it was a couple podcasts ago where you were talking about we didn't lose that many players.
I mean, you lost.
Florida State lost a lot. We lost.
They reloaded though.
We have returning. We have Toafili, who I think he's going to be one of the top backs in the league. Not a lot of people talk about him in that regard, but he whenever he touched the ball, he just seemed incredibly efficient. So I'm excited to see what he does as the lead back. Because last year, obviously, we had Trey Benson, and he's people are saying the Jonathan Brooks out of Texas. He's probably the more refined back, I'll have to say. I think Trey Benson's a little more raw. But I think after James Conner leaves, he's going to be pretty disgusting in Arizona.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
Right. How confident are you in Uiagalelei?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He
DJU.
he came from Oregon State, I believe.
By way of Clemson.
By Clemson, yeah. So it hurts me that we're bringing in a former Clemson Tiger, but at the same time, he looked okay in Oregon State. The problem with anybody coming from a Pac-12 team is who the hell do they play?
Well, they played Oregon and Washington.
Oregon and Washington, but the only teams Oregon and Washington played outside of the Pac-12 was
Texas, Michigan, each other.
Texas and Michigan. That was once you got to the playoffs. And Oregon didn't play those teams.
Oh, don't you try to play this game with me? Don't you open and question me like that? All right, you will not get an invite back.
We're coming back full circle here because you asked me how I felt about Florida getting shunned last year. And if you looked at
He's so bitter about it.
If you looked at Washington outside of the Pac-12 played nobody. The best opponent a Pac-12 team played during the regular season last year was when USC played Notre Dame. And Notre Dame was not as good as they were preseason. So
Boomer.
I was a little
They had a
upset.
left-handed quarterback. Of course they were going to make it.
Oh my God. Hey, so Boomer,
But I will say
have you seen the new coaches poll? They got FSU number 10 preseason.
Yeah, they bumped us up from 11 to 10 or something like that.
Pretty high though.
With this us shit again.
It's part of the team.
What's this us shit?
Part of the community.
Part of the community, yeah. That is what it is. But I will say I think that's fair. For the fact that we did end undefeated last year, minus, missing 21 or what was it, 16 out of our 22 starters for the game against Georgia.
Yeah.
Between people dipping out, Rodemaker left in the transfer portal, a bunch of other players left in the transfer portal. We lost our receivers, we lost a running back, we lost our tight end, we lost our quarterback. Now we're bringing in another talent at quarterback, but we don't know what that's going to look like.
I honestly don't think DJU's like as good as everybody says he is.
He's been playing.
He's definitely not as good as our quarterback last year. So
no, Jordan Travis can't even.
Yeah,
say,
Jordan Travis, and that was a tragedy.
The guy keeps saying "we" and doesn't even remember his quarterback's name.
He knows him.
Nick, I'm getting old.
That's right.
He's got kids.
1-year-old. Forgot. I'm sorry. I take it all back.
Jordan Travis was a talent. He was a kind of a special talent, I thought. And I'm kind of concerned going into the professionals, the kind of injury that he took. Like his leg was just destroyed.
Oh yeah.
So
that
was rough to see.
He got drafted pretty late, I think.
Who drafted him? Jason?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either. Yeah.
You got a computer in front of you, my friend.
Yeah, but I got other stuff
right now. The New York Jets.
The Jets.
Jets.
He's learning about darkness retreats and being a distraction.
Massive a-hole.
Like ayahuasca. Talking about.
That's funny. I did not know he went to the Jets. Holy
That's got to be the weirdest QB room in the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
one guy missing an Achilles, one guy missing an entire leg. So,
yes. So the coaches poll came out. I don't know if you saw them, Boomer, but they do have Georgia 1. I think that's kind of like until somebody beats them, they have to be number 1, right? I know last year they got beat, but the team they're bringing back, okay. They have Ohio State number 2.
Yeah, I don't think.
And Oregon 3 at Texas 4. And then Alabama at 5.
Yeah.
Right? So that's your top 5.
Didn't Judkins go to Ohio State?
Quinshawn Judkins is at Ohio State, but so is Will Howard, is now their quarterback from Kansas State. He's from Kansas State.
I don't see Ohio. I'm going to tell you the team that I think is going to surprise everybody is the team they got number 6. Ole Miss. Jackson Dart.
They're very good.
Stud, dude.
Jackson Dart, I watched a few of his games at the end of the season. He looked really good.
He is good. And Lane Kiffin down there will.
They played Penn State in their bowl game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I watched that game. They had Chop Robinson and Dart.
Yeah.
And Dart, he seemed to stand in there.
He's good, man.
He didn't look afraid, composed quarterback. So
I think
he's a higher end. I've been looking at some of the 2025 fantasy drafts, and he's kind of high up on some of the boards.
He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's good. I mean, he's got a great coach to teach him. So I think he's going to do fine.
They have LSU at 12.
I don't see LSU.
That feels very high for LSU.
I don't see that happening.
Especially having lost Jaden Daniels,
right,
and Neighbors and Brian Thomas. So
they lost a lot.
They lost a lot of their team, but then again, I mean, it's LSU. They more or less reload instead of
Yeah, they do, but they don't do much with the reload as we've seen. I just don't. Brian Kelly was really good for the Northeast. I just don't see him being successful in the South. I really don't.
He was a really good coach at Notre Dame, but I just don't. I don't see LSU. LSU without Jaden Daniels last year would have been even worse. So. I don't know. I don't see that happening. Some of the other, they got Tennessee up there. They've generally kind of do well in the beginning. They fall off. But I wouldn't mind seeing them do well. And that old team that's used to be a power team. And they got, here's the teams that I never actually watch. NC State.
They're good. They're good.
I know, but they're just not.
They're
there.
They're competitive.
Their coach
a lot
is
of their
good.
losses are usually pretty close games, but they just don't ever seem to be able to finish a game.
Yeah.
I think
it's rough. Yeah.
Boomer's second favorite team is here on this rating, the University of Miami. That is Florida Miami, not of Ohio.
All right,
they're
I'll
coming in at 19, my friend.
Yeah, they've apparently done a lot in the transfer portal. It might actually be a competitive game this year. But yeah, I mean, apparently I'm just kind of excited because this is one of those rare years where you get to see Miami and Florida State all play each other. So you can really get to get a feel of who the better team in Florida is. But I mean, as of late, outside of Florida State the last year or two, UCF has kind of been one of the better Florida teams.
Yeah, they have.
Florida teams have been struggling.
Oh, yeah.
As of late.
Besides
especially with the Gators having an off year or off couple of years. Usually it's Florida at the top, Florida State and Miami jockeying for that number 2, and UCF just being kind of down there. But UCF's put together a program, and now they're in the the big whatever it is this year, the Big 12 or
the Big 97.
Yeah.
So many teams in that conference.
But yeah, last year I was hoping they'd have a better showing, but they did okay. They had some wins, but not a lot in the conference.
Here's my dark horse in the coaches poll. The top 25, my one dark horse team here. Okay, if Iowa has any semblance of an offense, everybody's fucked. So that defense is so good every year.
But they never have an offense.
But they got rid of their OC. They might have an offense.
They just never had. They honestly have never.
If they
great on
have an offense, everybody's screwed.
And they could be because they're stout and playing up there in the.
They lost like nothing on the defense.
They play really well. So they got Caden McNamara back at quarterback. He's the guy that was there last year,
right?
But they had no offense.
They had no offense because the offensive scheme was garbage.
Maybe. Well, So so let's talk about Michigan real quick. Are they on here? Yeah, they're number.
The news that just came out.
Their coach
might not have a coach.
Yeah, their coach doing some shit he wasn't supposed to, I guess.
He was part of the Stallions thing.
He said, yeah. So, but their quarterback is Alex Orji. Orji. I don't know him.
Right, he's not bad.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
And then Penn State, Medium G's team.
All right, I do have something to bring up, and we can bash Medium G a little bit because he got a little defensive with me in a listener email, my friend.
Oh boy!
All right, so this is for Medium G here, so we can pontificate afterwards. Hello, fellow kids.
Oh boy!
You claimed that I quote unquote loved James Franklin. I don't love him, but I do want him to stay at Penn State. He recruits well at a tough school to recruit to. Bullshit. They have money. That's not a tough place to recruit to. If he leaves, who would you get that wants to go to the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, that can win 10 to 11 games this season?
Oh my God, everybody would go to Penn State.
And get high-end skilled positions. And lastly, from southern states, not sure there's a better option out there.
Oh.
That said, he's not a good X's and O's coach. He's a Jimmy and Joe's coach. His success is completely reliant on players and his staff. If it falls on him, he'll blow it every time. I agree with that statement. There's a lot of defensiveness in this statement here.
It is. Okay, number one, any coach would go to Penn State.
Yeah, it's a huge
They're
school.
They've been a powerhouse. Even if they win 10 games a year, they've always been a powerhouse. Nobody's not going to go to Penn State.
We're going to have to get Medium G on because this is going to rile him, but that is some bullshit, my friend. A lot of coaches would go to
They would love to go to Penn State.
Penn State will pay any coach $10 million a year to go there.
And their facilities are friggin' like pro level up
awesome.
there. Come on, Medium G. That's BS.
All right, take your shots. Take your shots, Boomer, so you won't have to deal with them.
I mean, I'm looking at this preseason ranking here with that coach's poll, and there's two teams that I do not ever want to see in the top 10 until they do something. That's Notre Dame and that's Penn State.
Whoa! baby.
Shots fired across the bow.
Across the bow.
And it's nothing against the schools. I love Penn State. I nothing Notre Dame.
Ooh.
But
So you were pissing off two people in the bunk household.
I'm sorry, but these teams are rated higher every year, and they always finish. I don't want to say always finish. I mean, Penn State. I mean, whenever Penn State and Notre Dame lose, I don't think they get docked enough.
But okay,
for their losses.
To defend that, because he's not here, I will defend it. As a Texas fan, Texas got that treatment for a very long time.
Correct. There's some schools that just get that treatment.
Yeah,
Alabama's getting that treatment right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, heck, the fact that Alabama even got in to the playoffs last year was kind of an insult. That's the team I think that didn't deserve to go. But they lost to Texas, and then they almost lost to Auburn in the last game of the season.
Yeah.
So
it took a last second play in the corner of the end zone to beat Auburn. So some of these teams just don't get the penalization for losing that I think they deserve. And every year they give Notre Dame, Penn State the benefit of the doubt. Let's put them. I can't recall really in the last 10 years Penn State or Notre Dame not being ranked in the top 20 going into a season, some years more deservedly so than others, but they never end up doing anything.
I agree with you there.
And I'd love to see Penn State's always got a nasty defense. Like I'm not going to take that from them. They usually have a good running back.
Great running back. It's a running back defense. School.
Their edge rush in Penn State year after year is one of the best in the country,
as well as their linebackers. Never
put it all together.
Yeah,
right. And their linebackers are also they just never put it all together.
Right.
And so until that happens, I can't put my stamp of approval on them being a top 10 preseason team.
Ooh,
wow.
Damn. Okay.
My goodness.
I don't know about that.
All right.
Not to shit in the Wheaties or whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah. Medium G,
like
you hear
Penn
that?
State. I can't see them there.
I can't wait for the rebuttal. This is going to be great. Medium G, your delusional thinking coaches don't want to go to that school. That was a bold statement.
I don't agree with that. And I will agree that usually the preseason top 10 is the same old. I'm one thing I am surprised Ole Miss is up there. They're never up there.
And Missouri.
Missouri's up there in the top 20. Arizona's out there.
Missouri is my dark horse team. I think they could surprise people. They have one of the best receivers in the country. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm looking at the SEC teams that made it here, and I'm really feeling much better about Texas's schedule because there's not a lot of the teams that Texas has to play on this. Georgia's on there, A&M's on there, and Oklahoma's on there, but
the problem with Texas, I'm going to tell you, and of course we're big Texas fans here. They always trip up. There's always so I'm happy. Number one, friggin' Kansas ain't on our schedule anymore because they used to be. God,
or dang. Kansas State, the purple kryptonite.
They would always
man.
come up there and get them, but they have they really have a pretty tough. I mean, I know Arkansas has not historically been good.
Oh, they hate Texas though. But that's a rivalry.
That's a rivalry. Kentucky's going to be a tough one. Kentucky's, they throw the ball and they run well. Vanderbilt should not be.
I mean, Michigan week 2 is not easy.
I mean, even teams like. They should be blowing out UTSA and ULM, but you never know, man. Sometimes UTSA is not bad.
I remember that's that game we went to a couple years ago.
Oh my God. You want to tell that? You want to tell that fun story?
I mean, other than me dying in the heat, that was rough. That's the first college game I went to.
Oh my God.
Outside of the state of Florida. And that was another animal, man.
That was a cool game. That was a nighttime game. That was when it wasn't hot.
Still.
Oh, that was not hot.
We were sitting in the sun.
Yeah. The sun went down after a while.
Eventually, near the end. But then, there was that one.
Oh, my God.
Someone was just like leaning on, what was it?
It was my sister. My sister was there with us. And this lady's hammered drunk and her fupa was on. You know what fupa is? Their bunk?
No.
I'll fill you in later.
Is it a body part?
Oh, it's a body part, my friend.
It's like the top part of a cupcake.
Oh. Okay, I got you.
I got you. Fupa. And it was hanging on my sister's shoulder, and I was just about to kill somebody.
Ouch.
I was so mad. She was belligerently drunk and screaming about UTSA that was losing by 21. And her FUPA was on
The FUPA.
In the first half, they came to play against Texas, man. It was a very close game at the first half.
That changed quickly, though.
Yeah.
It did. Bijan just, at that point, him and Roshan just kind of...
monsters.
Did their thing.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. As an outsider looking at the Texas team, how do you think they're going to do?
I mean, you guys lost, 2 receivers? I am not a Quinn Ewers guy. I don't think he is the best quarterback on your team. I think he was the 3rd best quarterback on your team last year.
That's smoking. You're smoking something.
Maybe I am.
Whatever maybe that good you're getting in San Antonio, my friend, send it up to Austin because Quinn Ewers, he is the best quarterback on that roster.
I do not know. We'll see this year. I mean, I don't want to just be like, oh, he's a Manning, give him the keys and go. And I appreciate him staying and not leaving. Like, was Malik is his name? I can't remember his name.
Well, yeah. Malik had to leave.
But he had to leave. Like,
to leave.
He doesn't, he's got limited time. He's got to kind of make a name for himself.
And he's going to tear up Florida State while he's at Duke.
I mean, it is a scary prospect. He looked good. But if Florida State's defense is anything like it was last year, I mean, we had I think the number 4 defense in the country last year.
Yeah, very good defense.
So I'm not too worried about ACC teams. Like, I know, I talk a lot of shit about the Pac-12, but at the same time, the ACC is not all that great either. If you're not in the Big Ten or the SEC, your competition level is a little lower. That's why teams and that's the biggest thing I shit on about the Pac-12 is they don't schedule anybody out of conference.
But there isn't a Pac-12; it's a Pac-2.
Yeah, now it's the Pac-2. But now we'll see teams. They're in the Big Ten or wherever they went. The ACC. That's one of the funny things. Talking about Stanford and Cal coming to the ACC, that's just ridiculous. We'll see how that goes or how long that lasts. But Texas, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm glad to see them getting some real competition. Georgia coming to Texas is going to be. If
tough.
Only I was a millionaire, I'd go to that game.
That's going to be a good one.
It's the week.
It'll be a good one.
It's the week after they play Oklahoma too. So that's a tough 2-week stretch.
Florida comes here too.
Then Florida comes here too.
Yeah, a good game. That's about the only time I would actually even consider going to
late November.
In November because it's too friggin' hot here and 100,000 people. God.
Florida, I think. I don't know. I think Texas is just going to take it to Florida. Florida's. Until I see another sign of them righting the ship there, they're down. Usually Florida goes on like some 5-6 year downswing and then they're like dominant for 3-4 years.
You love to hear it. Yeah,
I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be a middle of the road team.
Florida?
Yeah, Florida. I don't think they're gonna.
I thought you said that about Texas.
I feel bad for their schedule.
Oh yeah, their schedule was unfair.
Florida
2 years in a row.
Got the worst schedule 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All
right. Well, now people got drafted, and we got to elevate ourselves into the real reason we needed Boomer here. Some would say he's a fantasy football connoisseur. A man that really likes statistics.
We call him a statistician.
Yes.
Statistician.
So,
is that right?
statistician?
It's a glorified term for what I am, but I think
I said connoisseur. I didn't say expert. I didn't say expert for a reason. I said connoisseur.
I'm an armchair kicker who likes to believe I was a football player.
Yes, that's all that matters, my friend. All right. I do want to start this off with the great debate of which Saquon's going to be better, Eagles Saquon or the Giants Saquon. Man. All right, you two, have fun.
Well, we'll just go ahead and say we'll get to see what he can do behind an actual O-line. He was a top 5 running back year in and year out behind the garbage that is the New York Giants.
He was, but I'm going to tell you something. The dude is hurt all the time. And I think
it's because he had no O-line.
That's because his legs are like giant, like friggin' tree trunks. He's just too big.
That's a good thing. That's
It
a
is
running
good,
back.
but he gets hurt all the time. Hey, I'm a Saquon fan. I like him. I'm saddened that he went to our rival, but I'm going to be honest. He's hurt a lot, man. And if he can stay on the field, he's going to be great for you guys. But if I'd have to do a wait and see on how long he stays out there. And as we know, I'm not a Philly fan. I don't like your quarterback at all. I'm sick of the Kelsey dude. I'm happy he retired.
Jason Kelsey.
God,
He was. I liked Kelsey is probably one of my favorite
You knew it was coming.
role models of all time.
Role models.
I'm tired of
He's
seeing
a
him,
role
man.
model level guy.
Tired of seeing him.
He is a down to earth kind of a easygoing guy. Like he's not like that same, he doesn't. I guess he doesn't get into
Sorry,
trouble.
man. I'm agreeing with you. I'm sick of him. Tired of him. And you know what? Not even his fault. I'm tired of his brother too. I mean, I'm Kelsey'd out.
Fair.
But
T-Swift Kelsey?
just to be honest with you, quarterback, I don't like. I just
Jalen Hurts?
I never liked. I didn't like
I'm
him
still on
at
the fence
Alabama.
about him. He had his really good year, and then last year, I don't know what the hell happened. People are very quick to be like, "Oh, it was the coach and this and that." And I'm on the same wavelength as you, Bunk, when it comes to Sirianni.
That's what my question is.
God, I don't like
Sirianni
that dude,
guy.
man.
I don't either.
He's
And
not a good coach. He's an asshat.
I think if you look at it like this, we had the year we went to the Super Bowl. The year after, we got rid of Gannon and we got rid of oh my God, what the hell is the other coach? So we lost our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And the year after, it falls apart. We started out like 7-0, and then we just could not really look the same.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
bad.
The coach, you know what? He benefited from a really good team. And then when he had a coach last year, he didn't do crap. I mean,
Right.
that's my opinion. And I don't hate the Eagles, but I used to like them when they had a different coach. I just honestly don't like the coach, and I just don't think Jalen is as good as everybody says he is.
We'll see.
He chokes too a lot, and
He choked last year, but I from what I've been hearing, it was a lot of disconnect between Sirianni and Hurts, and
that could
just the
be,
team
yeah.
in general.
Yeah, that could be.
From everything I've been reading and seeing, is it just was a unmitigated shit show.
I'm
So
not
now they
disagreeing.
brought in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore. The Chargers sucked last year, but Kellen Moore is known for having a good offense.
He is. Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes, and then Vic Fangio is on the defensive side, and plus we fixed. I feel bad because I keep talking about how we have geriatric cornerbacks, but they're 3-4 years younger than I am. So
Yeah. What does that say about
we
you?
went out. Apparently, the Isaiah Rodgers experiment. He got suspended a couple years ago for gambling, and we went and got him on a discount. And apparently, he's been looking nothing but stellar in the off season. So he's a younger guy. That's nice. And we got the great white hope from Iowa,
Cooper DeJean.
So, but apparently he got hurt too in training camp, or he hasn't been participating early on. But we have players, and we got that other cat from was it Tulsa or Tulane, Quinion. So we'll see how he does.
All right.
He was our number one pick.
All right, then. That's a lot of pumping up Eagles. Now I have to
Eagles
ask
are
you
gonna
this.
be good.
Listen, I got to do this now then. So we got to see really where you're at with them, okay? 3 of us can do this. Top 5 NFL teams going into the year. Boomer first.
All right.
Top 5 going into the year. It depends what happens with Ayuk in San Francisco, but I'll say San Francisco, Kansas City. It's tough. The
tough.
Eagles, obviously, I'm going to have the Eagles in there.
You're saying 3? Eagles 3?
I'm going to say the Eagles are 2.
Oh, so you're going to say Chiefs are 3?
They're number 1. I say the Eagles are number 1 in the NFC. and nobody has them up there. I've been
Oh.
seeing this, and it's driving me crazy. Just because we collapsed last year, we'll see what happens this year. But we've shored up our weaknesses, and we pulled in Saquon. And I'm a Saquon believer. The years that he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
And I believe he won't get hurt because we have more of a change of pace. Like the Giants ran him into the ground. We have Kenny Gainwell, and apparently Will Shipley from Clemson has been looking very good in training camp. So we'll see if they give him some breaks.
So there's 3. I need 2 more teams.
So what did I? Yeah. So Baltimore.
Yeah.
Is going to be
Bunk's
very
favorite
good.
team. Bunk's favorite team for sure.
And then number 5. That is the question. A lot of people would probably slot like the Cowboys or something in there. And as an Eagles fan, I couldn't possibly do that. Beyond the fact that they, did nothing in the offseason and they actually lost players. I'd have to go maybe Miami.
Oh, I didn't think you were going there. All right.
Miami.
Okay.
Miami's very solid offensively. They're in. Yeah, I can't really say no to Tyreek. They just paid Tua. Tua's a happy man.
They just paid Tyreek too.
They paid both of them.
They just paid.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to say maybe Miami is up there.
All right.
There's 5 is so interchangeable, I think.
So okay, so just so it's in order here, we're saying you said Niners 1, Philip.
No,
Niners.
I say Kansas City's 1.
Kansas City 1.
Eagles are number 1 in the NFC.
Eagles 2, Niners 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to say Baltimore 4, Miami 5.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good list.
That sounds pretty good.
It's not a bad list.
That's a good list.
All right, let's hear Bunks.
I'm going
Jets 1, Giants 2.
I'm a realist. I like them. I'm going Buffalo first.
At 1?
At number 1.
Oh, my
it's their
God.
year.
Now you're going to send me whatever you're smoking because that's not going to be
Buffalo number 1. I'm going to go Kansas City number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to throw one in here on you. Let's see. I'm thinking, golly, I don't think anybody from the NFC East is going to make it. I'm going Detroit Lions number 3.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And number 4, I gotta go with my boy. I gotta go with my boy out in Charger land. I'm going Chargers.
Chargers 4?
I'm going Chargers 4. They got a new coach.
Who's 5?
I like my coach out there. You know what? Number 5, I'm going to go with, gosh, dang it. I'm going Bengals.
That's an atrocious list.
I think the Bengals is one of the arguments for 5.
Bills 1?
I think it's the Bills' year. It's got to be their year. I don't think the coach is going to last another year. If he
they vacated their defense, though.
Bills 1.
So all we got to do is get to the end of the year. They got to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be them.
We'll bring these sound bites back up.
We can. I'm going Bills number 1.
We won't bring them up if you're correct.
All right, who do you got?
All right. Number 1, you have to say the Chiefs.
I know everybody says the Chiefs.
But you have to, because you have to.
They can be number 2,
They're number 1.
Okay, number 1. Chiefs. Who else?
Okay. Number 2.
Yeah.
The Niners.
And the Niners are always there.
They're so good.
I agree with that.
Okay. Number 3. I gave you shit about it, but I do put the Bills up there in the top 3.
There you go.
Bills at 3.
The Billy Goats.
Bills at 3. Okay. Baltimore 4.
I hate them.
They're good.
Hate them.
And they now have a monster at running back.
It's the same. They're brothers, and I actually hate that guy, and I like the other guy.
All right. To round out the top 5.
Oh, God. Let me see. Let me look at your eyes. You're going with Jacksonville.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, baby!
I knew it.
Let's go, Jacksonville.
I like Jacksonville.
Let's go.
I like Jacksonville.
They are not going to come anywhere close to top 5, but I'm going to put them there just as fandom, my friend.
I would not count them out. I think T-Law's good out there, man.
For the two of y'all putting the Bills in the top 5,
Oh!
I would like to see them. I actually don't hate the Bills, but they lost Diggs, which, Diggs near the end of the last season was falling off, and their whole defense left. Not their whole defense, but a good chunk of their defense is gone.
They're back.
I don't I don't think
they're back, baby.
I don't think they're top 5.
Hey.
I think Cincinnati was a good option at 5.
All right.
They were one of the ones I was thinking of putting in my top 5.
And Jacksonville, right?
Jacksonville is interesting.
Top 5, right? Top 5.
Their defense is solid. They have one of the best tight ends in the league. I think Christian Kirk is a highly underrated receiver. If Brian Thomas can pan out as a top end rookie,
that's right,
receiver.
That's right.
And if Lawrence can perform the way that he is expected to perform, they could very well be a top 5 team.
I think so.
He has 55 million reasons to perform at the top of his game.
I'm thinking that I would love to see Jacksonville do well.
They're my top 5.
They're my AFC team. I have Eagles are my number 1 team through and through. But if I need to pull for a team in the AFC, if the Eagles get knocked out, usually I'm looking at Jacksonville.
All right,
nice.
That's fair. I'm going to switch you over now to a little fantasy. Running back. Who's your fantasy football number 1 running back?
That depends. Are we talking dynasty? Are we talking just a
this
year? You're going to draft. It's just going to be just prototypical.
I don't
straight
even know what the hell
up.
he's talking about.
I know. That's why I had to backtrack there because Pop.
Hello, puppy.
Man, Bunk over here.
Hello, puppy.
Bunk over here has no clue what dynasty is going to be. It's just a 10-man roto is his life.
Roto.
So in a 10-man, you're probably looking at CMC as the number 1.
That's Christian McCaffrey.
I know who it is.
I'm just making sure.
Expecting him to fall off. I'm one of those guys that I'd rather be off the train a year early than a year late.
Okay.
Because if you are the year late and you pick him up and he's worth nothing or he gets hurt, because CMC's getting old, he's had injury concerns. But I mean, just looking at his usage and the sheer number of touchdowns this guy gets, he just seems to find the end zone every game.
Yeah, he's good.
It's hard to say no in a use them and lose them league, kind of like a redraft perspective, which is your typical, just every player is on, available for draft. CMC is number 1. You can make an argument this year for Breece Hall.
I like it.
Bijan, man. If it's PPR, it's got to be Bijan. He catches so many balls out of the backfield.
Last year, I drafted Bijan. I had the number 10 pick, and he fell to me in the redraft league I'm in, our Cocoa Beach league. Some of these guys, it's very running back heavy. Any mock draft I did, any studying I do is usually based off of people who do underdog fantasy, which is more of a competitive style. And so the way that it's drafted is different. Receivers are more popular.
Yeah.
And so I was expecting to get, I was like, I don't think I was going to get Bijan, but I ended up getting Bijan. And this is where I developed my disdain for Arthur Smith.
Oh.
I could not believe the way that this guy was like, you know what? We're on the 1 yard line. What are we going to do? Tight end sweep with Johnny Smith.
They didn't use him. I know. Unbelievable.
Get the hell out of here.
I know.
And then he was just like, oh, everybody's just hating me because they're fantasy football. And it's like, well, you also have probably the most talented running back in the NFL. And you're going to do a tight end sweep at the 1.
I know. I know. They didn't use him at all. They
did not utilize him.
They didn't utilize him well.
And then there was the game. He was sick. Bijan was sick, and he didn't play him except for one garbage snap in the last minute of the game. And there was probably some Vegas bullshit attached to why they did that. Because they didn't report him as being out, so they had to play him one play.
I am interested in seeing his numbers this year with a better quarterback with him and a better offensive line. So
I think he's good. He has a very good argument of being the RB1 in football and fantasy this year. From whether you're in a half point PPR, full point PPR, he has a chance to be number 1. Breece Hall has a chance to be number 1, and Christian McCaffrey have a chance to be.
I agree.
Those are your 3.
Like
If I wouldn't argue with you if you took any of them with the number 1 overall pick.
I like that.
If you wanted to go running back 1, if you want to go receiver 1, right now, CeeDee Lamb is kind of being rated as the top receiver.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, he's good. He's very good. But I don't know if he's numero uno.
I will be the first one to talk down on a cowboy. But CeeDee Lamb is probably the best receiver in football when you take into account situations. Although Justin Jefferson's looking better and better by the day. Apparently, J.J. McCarthy is absolutely balling out in training
camp. Training camp. I'm telling you, I think he's going to be the better rookie quarterback.
I think he might be.
It's hard to tell because of the way he was underutilized in Michigan. They just didn't have to.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh liked to run the ball. So you didn't really get a good look at him.
What about Tyreek? What about Tyreek down in Miami?
I mean, from the list that I run off of, he is the number 2.
Okay.
He is, just out of a sheer volume perspective, the guy's going to get, 10 catches a game, if they let him.
And and once he gets the ball, he's really he's like the most dangerous guy.
Most people ain't catching him.
No, he's really good. Yeah. He's really good. I'll tell you who I also like. I like that Amon-Ra St. Brown over at Detroit, because he's their go-to guy, and Goff has gotten really good.
Yes. Yeah, Goff was a surprise. I didn't think he was going to turn out the way that he did, especially going to Detroit. But I really like Campbell. I think he's doing a great job in Detroit. And Amon-Ra he's that guy that is, especially in PPR. Like if it was a full PPR league, he's, in my opinion, a top. I see on this list here, they have Jamar Chase above him. And it's hard to argue that Amon-Ra should be higher, but I think you can put Amon-Ra in the top. I would say number 1 to me is hands down CeeDee Lamb, but that number 2 slot between Tyreek, Jamar Chase, and Amon-Ra is definitely, you can argue any way on that.
All right.
So, okay. So with those questions, who's your sleeper then? Obviously, not every sleeper. Yeah, sleeper running back this year. Obviously,
sleeper running back. Are you defining like outside the top 5?
Yeah, let's say
top 5.
Sure, outside the top 5, a value pick that you can get later in the draft, maybe like later by like 3rd or 4th round.
So I actually took a lot of grief for this, and I have different opinions on this. So if I wanted to say a safer sleeper pick, the 2 safer sleeper picks I would say are Travis Etienne or Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon over in Houston is going to be. He's right now. I'm looking at him on this list as the RB13. Wow. It depends how it goes there, to be honest. But they got rid of Singletary, and Singletary made it look good there. But the problem with Mixon is he's still got to compete with Dameon Pierce, who had a really good rookie season and did nothing last year. Yeah. So it just depends what Dameon Pierce you get. Travis Etienne, I mean, he's sitting here at the RB9. If Jacksonville's offense is flowing the way that it can, I mean, you're looking at a guy that he could easily end up as a top 5, top 3 running back. I don't see him having the RB1 ceiling, but he's definitely got the ability, and he's, 3-dimensional back. You can throw to him. 2-dimensionally, he's not going to throw the ball, but he can catch, he can run. So that's a good option there. But the one that I put a lot of chips into this basket because I traded away a lot of future draft capital in a dynasty league for this guy, Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh,
he runs like he's angry at the ground.
Yes, I love the way that he runs, but he can catch, he can run. He's on a high-powered Kansas City offense, and right now he's sitting at the RB11.
Wow. Okay.
And I traded away. I traded down from because in the way that dynasty works, and the league that I'm in is also. This is what you would call a degenerate league. It is a auction league, salary cap, contract dynasty league. So you contract your players to keep them on your team. You pay them more year after year. and I bought him off his rookie contract, and he just got a 5-year extension. So now I have Isaiah Pacheco for 6 years, and I'm paying him $5. Whereas in most top 5 running backs, you're paying them 40 plus. So I traded 4 first-round picks. I recouped a first-round pick, which was a later pick in the draft, and I used that to get Jaden Daniels this year. But I put a lot of eggs in the Isaiah Pacheco basket, so we'll see how that pans out.
Nice.
I could be wrong.
You are so you are really into the fantasy football. I mean, I can.
Yes.
You got
degenerate.
I got to ask. Do you have like spreadsheets and stuff?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Are you too?
Yes.
I mean, I did when I played fantasy football.
Are you in it this year?
I'm not, but I thought we might have been doing. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I kind of like the analytics going on here.
I know.
Got me a little excited.
So here's a fun question. I know this is going to bring up a lot of debate. I know we're running short on time, but I'd love to hit this for a few minutes. If you have a few minutes, Boomer, which rookie quarterback would you stay away from, and which rookie quarterback would you go after?
If you had asked me this preseason, I would have said I was going to stay away from Jaden Daniels, and I would have said go after Caleb Williams. If you look, and the way you can really tell how the market, and that's kind of how I look at dynasty fantasy football, is you look at it like a market. Even if you're going to draft this player, does he have resale value later, or is this somebody you're going to make a key piece of your offense, or your offense, quote unquote, but your team? But if you look at Dynasty Superflex, which is where you're running 2 quarterbacks, guess if you look at the QBs, I want you to guess where Caleb Williams is going out of the list of all the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Draft-wise,
as a Dynasty Superflex rookie, just a startup draft where every player is available.
He's probably still going top 5.
He's not going top 5. He is the number 6 quarterback.
Wow.
Jesus.
Sorry, number 7. This just updated.
That's amazing.
So he's number 7. He's right behind Lamar Jackson.
That's ridiculous.
So he's highly sought after. He has a very good tool set. I know people, he's throwing this and that in training camp, but he's still a rookie. He's still getting used to NFL speed. So a lot of these quarterbacks are going to have an issue. But if you're asking me this question today, who I'd go after and who I'd avoid, I would avoid Drake May. And that is a complete reversal from what I would have thought preseason. I really liked Drake May preseason. I think he's a big-bodied, prototypical quarterback who is surprisingly good on his feet. But apparently he is losing the quarterback battle to that guy from Tennessee,
Joe Milton.
Really?
Would you stash Joe Milton just to see? Why not?
I mean, it depends. If you're talking about rookie draft where you get to pick rookies, which we just had ours, and generally there's 4 rounds. In a 12-man league, we had 4 rounds, so you're drafting 48 players. Milton would probably be a 3rd or 4th round pick. Drake May, I had the option. I told myself I was going to get Drake May if he fell to me at 12, but I did not expect to see Jaden Daniels there. So I ended up with Jaden Daniels, and he's another one.
Smart move.
He is looking very good in training camp, but I think as of right now, the one that's looking the best in training camp is JJ McCarthy.
See, I'm big on the JJ McCarthy train just because of the weapons around him.
Yeah, I think he'll do good. I told Pick, I'm a Bo Nix guy too. I like Bo Nix. I think he's going to do well. He's an older guy, and honestly, I think he has a shot at starting out there in Denver.
He does. I mean, he's behind Zach Wilson, which we all know how that went in New York. But one thing I heard about Bo Nix, and he's an older quarterback coming out of college. Mm-hmm. He's 26, I think, and apparently he is what a lot of people are calling pro ready. He's very good at reading defenses. He's good at doing his progressions. So we'll see how that goes. Plus, they brought in Troy Franklin with them, so he's already familiar with one of their top receiving threats.
Yeah.
So he could very well end up starting at some point. But yeah, and Nick, you said that JJ is coming in with one of the best.
He has some good
best
weapons
pieces around him.
He has some good weapons around him.
Caleb Williams has better. This is so rare for a quarterback to come in and just have a talented team around him. Like when you're drafted number 1 overall, usually your team's garbage.
Right.
But they got this pick from Carolina, and Carolina was garbage. So
yeah. See, I don't fight that at all. I just don't think Caleb Williams will be able to process how fast the game is at the pro level to get those pieces the ball. I just don't think I think he was just a bit too arrogant, and he's now finding out how fast the game actually is.
Yeah, and that'll take some adjustment.
He could. I mean, he could end up being the next Tom Brady Mahomes. He could. I just don't think he's gonna.
But if you were asking me today, if you had the 101 and a rookie pick, the first overall pick of the draft,
mm-hmm.
and you had to pick one of the rookies and you needed a quarterback.
Right.
Because if you had the 101, I'd probably, depending on what the league type is, I would probably tell you to go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
If it's a quarterback, though, if we're saying quarterback only.
Super flex and you needed a quarterback,
right,
I would still tell you to do Caleb Williams.
I wouldn't go for it.
I would not tell you to do JJ. If you wanted to get JJ, I would tell you to trade your first round pick down in the draft if you could, and find something a little bit later and try to get him with maybe the 6, 7, 8.
Right. I definitely wouldn't. I'm not saying I would take JJ over everybody. I think there's other really, really, really good rookie options right now at quarterback. I just think
this year was insane.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think at the end of the day, the system that JJ's in, where it's short passes to fast players, is so much easier for a young quarterback to read. Right? Oh, he's playing press. I know that I'm gonna hit this screen or whatever it is. You know what I mean? They're quicker throws in that system that work really well. Now Caleb's gonna have to take shots because he has deep threat players, and I just don't. The way I've seen, and I get it, it's just now starting preseason, so it's all going to get ironed out. But he's thrown a lot of picks.
Players, his deep threat players, one of the best contested catch receivers
They're great.
In college football last year was Odunze.
Yeah.
Right.
And I watched, I can't remember if it was who he threw it to, but when Penix in Washington played against Texas in the playoffs, I was a big Penix hater.
Constantly.
I was a big Penix hater, and I saw him throw that just frozen rope right through a defender and hit Odunze in a contested catch, and I was just like, holy cow. Like, that was just insane.
Michael Penix was on. There was no way anyone would stop that offense because he was hitting every single spot perfectly in that game.
Speaking of somebody I feel terrible for, it's Penix getting drafted to Atlanta to sit behind.
Yeah, I know. That's just such a head scratcher.
Oh, man.
Such a head scratcher. I would not
I thought it was
hilarious
because you saw, like, if you watched the draft when it happened, immediately after that Penix pick came through for Atlanta, Chicago was next up, and they didn't take any time to pick a Odunze. They were like,
"No, of course not.
Give me a Odunze."
Yeah,
right.
I don't know what they're because Kirk Cousins has a couple years at least left in him. He's a really good quarterback.
Penix is 26. He was another.
He's
another
old.
COVID.
He's older.
COVID redshirt.
I know.
Yeah, they terribly.
I thought maybe they were going to pick him and then trade him later in the draft, and they kept him. So I don't know what's going on there either. But he obviously can't be the happiest dude in the world.
But I think over the offseason, and we talk about Caleb Williams now, but I think Chicago was insane for getting rid of Justin Fields for a unknown quantity in Caleb Williams.
Correct. Well, they put a team around Williams, though. They put a team around him.
But imagine you're Justin Fields. You've played there for 4 years, and they did nothing to help you in 4 years. And then they bring in Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
They bring in DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, they're starting to give me some pieces. And they're like, see you later, Justin. Like, he was getting his hopes up. But Russell Wilson's been hurt in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He hasn't been practicing. And apparently
Fields has looked really good.
very good.
But they're also something's going on there because they're getting in fist fights every other day in that camp too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Fields isn't going to start unless
He won't.
No, and he shouldn't. To be honest with you, not off the bat. I mean, I would give. I don't know. I mean, these guys. I
don't think
hurt.
Wilson makes the end of the season as the
I
starter.
don't think so either. I'm going to agree with you there. I think he's and I like him, but he had like a couple good years, and he was in a great system up there in Seattle. But,
oh yeah,
with Carroll, but he's just not panning out.
no, the decline is. I mean, he's later in his career.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Good.
alrighty. Well,
Wow, that was awesome.
yeah. Thank you for the fantasy knowledge for sure. We got to check in with you throughout the season for sure.
See how the predictions go.
Well, not only that, just good advice. You're giving us sound
I'm ready
advice
for the
for
ball
sure.
rolling.
Oh yes. Well, speaking of that, we are at the end of the show here, so I would love everybody to.
Speaking of balls rolling,
Yes, I think we have Boomer just take us out after this.
I think so.
by
I
himself.
like it.
But
I
before
like
you
it.
do, Jay,
It's a lot of
remember
pressure.
if you are, it's a lot of. If you're enjoying the show, please rate it for us and add a comment down there. It really helps us tremendously. No money on your end, right? Just definitely helps us spread the word. Check out the social media. I think we have X now.
we're Xing.
The pontoon's out there
I threw
on
the
X.
pontoon. I threw a pontoon out there
the
on
pontoon's somewhere out there on X, so look for that monstrosity. But also on Facebook and Instagram. And you can always send us an email at bunkapickpodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions. I'm sure we'll get one real soon from Medium G. We definitely bashed his take there on Penn State. But without further ado, Boomer, why don't you take us out?
Is this where I just say the word?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
come on. I
man.
set you up. So
Set you
nicely.
right up.
Is this it?
All right, you say, all right, everyone. We're
we got to start with the. Okay.
all right.
All right,
oh
everyone.
my God, this is a nightmare. All right, go.
It was a lot of pressure. All right, everyone. We're
Rolling balls. All right,
We'll see you
thank
guys
y'all.
next time. Bye.
See you guys.